Hello, Gundam X fans. Today it's Speedball Harl to do another of my Gunpla Classics, and today I'm going to be reviewing for you guys a limited and sadly not very seen or oftenly heard of the Jenice custom, and I apologize right now for any butchering of names. And as you can see, this was pretty much the Zaku of the X series. And of course, this is a no grade and a 1/100 for the 44 scale. Now, you might be surprised to even see this because for those who do know of the no grade line, or at least the X kit line, this guy isn't actually a part of that line per se. It is a part of the series, but wasn't released in that line at that time, to be exact. And what I mean by that is, well, let's move him over for a second and I'll show you. As you can see by the box art, this is what the Jenice looks like, fully painted, detailed, and all that. Full name, and of course there's the X right in the background. Now, and I'll show you it. Now, the reason why I say this wasn't part of the original lineup is because it was a part of the limited model lineup. If I can get that to stay focused. Yep, there we go. The limited model line, which was a line of model kits, pretty much no-grade kits that were mostly supports and grunts from multiple series. And of course, this being from the X series. Now, there are two other kits from the X in this line. One of them I'll show you right now because I figured, why not, if I'm showing this grunt, why not show the other one? I don't have it built yet, but you might recognize it because it just so happens a P Bandai model was just released on its possible high grade variant in the future, hopefully, and that would be the Daughters custom. And hopefully soon we'll actually have the high grade variant of this guy. And of course, this too was from the LM line and such. Let's move that. And like I said, this guy was pretty much the Zaku of the series, as you can just simply tell by his look. Even has a heat hawk. Now, this kit was... They were really not exclusives, but not commonly found, really. And the only decent thing about them is that they actually gave you grunts for the series back then, when most of the time for the no-grade line, they mostly focused on the main units of the series and not grunts. But because of this line, you at least got one or two to grunt. You know, if you bought a couple of, you got an army. And as you can see, these guys did have articulation because they did use the polycaps like their no-grade counter lineup did. Hands. Now, the only difference between these no-grade kits and their, regular line of no-grades, these guys, the plastic that was used for these kits specifically is a lot thicker than that of the regular no-grades. Yep, and as you can see, ballpoint shoulder and ballpoint connection point for his shoulder armor. And let me just do that so you can all see. They were pretty much all the same for most of them. I believe some were different, but I know this one was like that. And as you can see, they do have articulation. So you can go all the way around. He does have an elbow. And of course, full wrist. And full elbow swing. The only problems with these, if you pull too hard or twist them too much, yeah, these did not stay on too well, actually. That's the sad fact. At least for this guy, it was. I haven't tested the other ones just yet. Sorry, I just want to make sure that's on. And he did have a vernier. His vernier thruster was also articulated. And of course, that goes for the legs, too. As you can see. The only thing with the legs, sadly, though, because of his skirt armor, as you can see, it's not going to go that far out or back. Now, the one thing about this guy that was a little unique is how most of his well, pretty much most of the no-grade kits at this time, most of their feet were separated from the actual model's legs. But this guy's legs, feet, everything pretty much were all molded into one piece, into just two pieces, just to connect together. Really simple. And now we look at his other weapon. His very big Gatling gun. You don't see too many zakus with this guy, right? You gotta do that. And of course, his head did have articulation. Not a lot, but enough to work with. And of course, this part can come off if you want. Well, oh no, that's right. Well, you can remove this top horn here, so you can make one of the non-commander types if you had this kit. So that was pretty cool. And like I said, as you can see, didn't have much articulation. But for grunts, you know, for the 90s and the way no grades were made at that time, it was, it was more reasonable. Because back then, like I told you in my one of my other videos, these kits here, no grades in general, really not really that expensive. So, and plus for the way these were made, these were probably even less expensive. So if you wanted an army of these guys, you could probably get a number of these and do just that. So, it's sad, but unfortunately though, as of nowadays, we don't have any Jenice in any kit form besides what you're seeing right now. But if I were, do I recommend this kit? I would honestly say for collectors, if you are a big fan of collecting no grades or certain lines and you want the full lineup, I would definitely say yes for this guy. But if you're not really like into no grades and you want a high grade variant, I would honestly say probably wait, because the way they're doing kits now, there is a possibility, not like guaranteed, but there is a possibility that Jenice will possibly get his own kits in the future. The reason why I say that is because since we do have a Daughters mold, there's a good chance we will get a Daughters at a point. And the way they're doing their releases and such, since last couple years we got wing support, this year we got we're getting again, pretty much getting G Gundam a little bit. We might get more, I'm not sure. So the next one will possibly be X series, because of, you know, the Daughters, and we might end up getting more Gundam units, or, like I said, possibly him. But like I said, if you're looking for a fun little guy to build and such like that, collect, or if you, like I said, if you're looking to complete an old collection, you know, this guy's definitely fun. Now, the one thing, too, you should know about these particular models is that they're not color accurate. You have to paint this guy from the ground up. And I mean that because all the colors you see on mine were originally just green like this, what I'm pointing at right now. This green was for the whole thing, weapons included. You have to paint. So I mean, if you're an expert painter or want to learn how to do such things, you know, a small kit like this would definitely work. Oh, unfortunately too, I forgot to mention, he does not have any waist articulation, like nothing. It's two solid pieces together. That's the truth. Yeah. Now, of course, you can take the weapons out of his hands. See? So if you had other units from the series, yeah, they can hold him too, no problem. Same with his machine gun. So that was pretty cool. And like I said, now, and that's why I think that Jenice could possibly get a high grade, because if you look into the Jenice itself, there's at least 3 to 4 variants of this guy. And, well, as we should all know, Bandai loves re-releasing molds once the first version comes out. I mean, come on. Name me how many Zakus we've gotten, how many Leos we've gotten, how many, oh darn, Hyzaks, and so on. Oh, GMs, you gotta remember GMs. That's my point. This guy, he's pretty much a money magnet for those who are X fans, and for those who like the chance to get a variety of him, of just one mold. So yeah, I will bet there will be more of this, or a chance for him to come out. I'm not going to deny there is that possibility. And of course, if you're wondering, as you can see, this guy is actually pretty small for his scale. And that's the truth, because as you can see from my kit, my custom here, my RX Haro, He's actually smaller. And that's not just saying that for this. I happen to have in my collection another of the X series no grades, and that's our Air Mister friend here, which I will do a video on another time. But as you can see, if you had this guy, of course, with him, it definitely isn't a bad setup, because then you actually have a grunt for him to shoot at. But no, his height is smaller, because I'm going to try to put my... hold on. Here, I'm going to use this. As you can see, I'm touching the top of this, and the Jenice isn't even touching. So yeah. So these guys were pretty small, and the same goes for their boxes too, because that's the one thing about their boxes is unique from most kits nowadays. These guys' boxes were nothing like what we got for high grades, no grades. These were like simple. They didn't even come apart. They were just lids. See? You just open the top of them, and there's your kit. You just go in there and you pull the runner out. And like I said, these guys are simple to build, even compared to their actual no grade line itself. I mean, here's the manual right here. I want to show that so you can all see it. And of course, as you can see in the corners, this is most of his variants. And of course, this is the detail page. How he'd look with stickers. Yes, and he does come with stickers too, so you know. All the way through. And it literally, once you open this, this is the whole manual to build him. Literally, it's just one, it's like a card, like a birthday card. You just open it up and there you go. That's it. And like I said, of course, like you see here in this picture, you remove the horn and you can make a grunt variant and not the command variant. But like I said, these were simple to build, so definitely if you wanted a simple build, these would definitely work for you. These were very simple. But yeah, like I said, if you wanted a complete collection or a grunt army setup, you know, back then, definitely you can get these things really easy back then. Well, not terribly easy, but if you knew the right place to get them at, yeah, you can definitely get a couple of these and make a couple grunt army forces to go up against your Air Master, your Leopard, the Axe, and so on. And like I said, there are 3 kits from that line, and as I showed you, the Daughters, him, and one other, but I'm going to save that one for later. I have it, but I will save that for later, because I think it'll be more fun when I have it built and ready to show you. And like I said, these guys' boxes, as I stated and showed, these are small, and to prove it, how small these guys' boxes are, I happen to pull out of my big shelf of boxes another X series kit, and as you can see, if I can get this. Now this one's a bigger, more taller box because I'll show you what unit it is in a second. But as you can see, this thing is barely half the width of this kit. And they'll show you in the kit I'm showing is the Gundam Asteron as well from the X series. And of course, I will do a video for him another time. But like I said before, do I recommend a kit like this for collectors? Sure. I mean, if you want to complete a collection, definitely. I don't see why not. And but if you're looking for high grade or just wanting a Jenice, I could probably say wait a bit, because I could definitely see them doing this guy eventually if they're following the way they've been doing their recent releases of high grades as into what series they're doing next. They'll eventually get to X, so I could definitely see them doing X at a point. I just can't say when. Yeah. Now, I'd like to thank you all for coming, enjoying the vid, and I'd like to help promote more classic hits like this, especially during this month that Kurosama is doing, called hashtag Vintage Month. And I'd probably be doing more of these this month just for that reason. And like I said, I hope you're all safe, happy, and enjoying your hobby as I do. So I hope you all have a good day. This is Speedball Haro saying, I'll see you later.